Last webinar was also on Gandhi and peace, but that there was no much clarity and could not make impact. So from viewers' respect, we are again talking on discussing Gandhiji's role in world peace. And for that, we have one expert, Dr. K. Pandey, is a former IS. He was in BHU faculty also, and he is vice chancellor of the Advanced Center of Learning and Innovation of for empowerment. I welcome you, sir. You are most welcome. Then we also welcome all the viewers who are watching our program and all the technical people who are associated with this work. We are very much thankful that each webinar gets good response from the viewers, and I hope that today also the viewers will be very much help. Uh, so thank you, viewers. Thank you to we are thankful to our team, technical team. So today's theme is Gandhi and conflict management in world peace perspective. Before I start on the theme, the Society for Empowerment is working with the Gandhian vision for the development of the people. And in that context, we also run few short-term courses like Gandhi and Happiness, Gandhi and Peace, Gandhi and Conflict Management, Gandhi and Disaster Management. Likewise, we are having some short-term courses also that we are running on different dimensions of Gandhiji, for which our courses are popular in different countries. We are thankful to all those people who took interest in our courses, short-term courses. So, particularly the courses which are on Gandhi, related to Gandhi. So, that is very much clear. Now, when we talk of Gandhi and conflict management, Gandhiji has, when he entered public life after coming back from South Africa, his whole life went, he spent the whole life managing the conflict. Because when he came for the first time to Champaran, then he had to face a lot of conflict from the bureaucracy, local administration, people, and then from judiciary also. So he was managing the conflict, and even there was a very difficult time. Then Gandhiji used to enjoy that, and he did not get any uh, deterrent impact on his philosophy. So from there, he has good experience, a lot of experience of managing conflict. Conflict is that one situation. There are two situations. Either you face the conflict, solve the problem, and you live with that. The second is that you have the violent methods to solve the whatsoever conflict you are facing. But Gandhiji preferred a non-violent method. That whatsoever problem is there, we must go with our principles, our mythology, our scriptures, and all those teaches us the Indian mythology, the Indian traditions, Indian culture and civilization teaches each Indian that we should be very peaceful in life and we should try to manage conflict which we face in life from Gandhian values and Gandhian views. When I say Gandhian values, means Gandhiji has some value, some risk. He has demonstrated that he has a lot of value for peace, and with peaceful method, peaceful manner, he he brought independence to the country. So that is one aspect of conflict management. And managing the conflict is something great, and what other things are there. So in conflict management, the systems which we also have some students, and they raise questions for that. What is why should we go for the Gandhian way of management for conflict? But this is well tested uh, method of managing conflict in which there is no harm, nobody suffers, no casualties, and everybody remains happy with the solution of the problem. So that is the aspect when you manage conflict with Gandhi's approach. Then we are talking to man. We are discussing with man, and that creates understanding to the man who is just opposite to us. In the course of time, he gets convinced, and the problem is solved. The best example is the Satyagraha, which Gandhi started in Champaran for freedom of the country, and that was the first experiment which Gandhi did for use for conflict management, and it was successful there in that case. So today we have a great bureaucrat and also a Gandhian who will talk to us, talk to you directly on the subject of the Gandhian values of conflict management and peace, world peace, and later on, at the end of this discussion, I will conclude what he has said, and then we will have a question answer session. If the viewers have any question, we will be very happy to share our views on the questions which have been raised. So with these words, I invite Dr. Panditi to share his views with the viewers. Yes, Dr. Pandita, please.
Professor Narayan. I think my voice is clear to everybody? Or
Yes,
no, thanks. Okay. And any idea how much time? I think 15 to 20 minutes I speak and then take
you
up
have.
questions if there are.
Okay, you
So,
can go up to 30 minutes. No problem.
okay, okay, thank you. Uh, Gandhi started his life as a law professional and understood the law and started practicing it. And slowly his practice went out of the court chamber and spread into Indian politics at the grassroots level and at the highest level. Hum, whenever I think about him, whenever I think about the mass support he found in Indian people, among Indian people, I I analyze it as if he knew the Indian psyche perfectly and instigated that, ignited that Indian mentality at the right time, at right moment for the such ahimsa and uh, non-cooperation, these things. Because unless your thought is synonymous with the people who are following you, you cannot follow it very long. They will all lose track of that. So his success, his success is based upon the understanding of Indian psyche, which is basically based on non-violence. Because even at at ancient times, if I remember, we believed in shastras, discussions rather than swords. That is one. That is how Shankaracharya spread and re-established Hindu Sanatan dharma in ancient times, and its roots are so deep that all the attacks of foreign countries in one or other way, it is keeping its leaves green and flourishing. I quoted this example because that ahimsa is always understood in our country as a prime religion. Buddha also taught ahimsa, Mahavir also taught ahimsa, Shankaracharya also taught ahimsa, and we never imposed our ideas by force or sword, but by logical discussion, face-to-face talk, and seeking the truth together. And when you follow the path of truth, you have unlimited power in that. In you, the only thought that you are true, you can go and fight, struggle with any size of power. I always remember the moment when he went to England for discussion Goldmage meeting, roundtable conference with the then ruler of UK, who was ruling, in fact, half of the earth in those days, and was so strong that the leaders and presidents of nations, they always talk with him with great regard and respect. But when Gandhi went, he had only little cloth on his body. Today, one goes to England, he cannot imagine that without warm cloth and all those things, he will stay there and meet people who do all these things. I wonder what was the strength with that man, which allowed, which permitted him to stay like that. Before the meeting was scheduled, the officers from UK government met him and told him that what is proper dress to meet the king and what you should talk and all these things. He said, I don't want that proper dress. I cannot afford. It was the place of truth he has taken that he will wear as much cloth only which an average Indian can afford in that time with his own labor. So whatever cloth he was wearing, that was too little. And people in the streets of England were also wondering how this man will talk to the king. So when they met, first question was, he had said, now see the conflict. Conflict was between England's king and people of India. The conflict was that all the raw material from India was being taken to England, and finalized finished goods were being sold here, giving great profit to English. And this conflict was the root cause he wanted to be established as the region India wants to become. So the first question he was to answer was, Mr. Gandhi, why you are wearing so little cloth? You should have dressed properly. Anybody can be put into logic. He can lose his balance. What to answer? But with the strength of truth and ahimsa, he straight came to the mind. Because, sir, all my clothes and all the clothes of Indians have been stolen by you. So you are wearing that many clothes. I don't have. So the matter became very clear. Whatever was subsequent discussion, that is another thing. But the fearlessness of Gandhi and sticking to the truth, coming straight to the point, without any what you can anger or anything, it, he could spoke the truth, and that is how he considered that we can reach to the point which is well for everybody. And it is the same thing for our Indian mythology also, that सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया. हम सिर्फ अपना कल्याण नहीं चाहते हैं, हम सभी का कल्याण चाहते हैं. And because he was such deep rooted in Gandhi and deep rooted of Indian society, so they both could think in harmony. Now, the issue of world peace is basically issue of conflict management between people though which are as high in esteem and as powerful as King of UK at that time, and Gandhi also, I think, he was as powerful in Indian polity because he led the masses. So, in today's context, we can see that there is international conflict everywhere. Now we understand why one country is fighting each other, because of small self-interest, little self-interest for somebody fighting for minerals, somebody for oil. World powers are fighting for ownership of the oil fields in Saudi Arab. Many China fighting for the waterways and freedom to send his goods at one place to other. We all understand, but to reach the crux of the conflict management when the both people are together is short and effectively, as effective as Gandhi did, that is a very big task. And if I am allowed to say, Gandhi, before the world was one, was Gandhi young everything. But the Mahatma inside him was a child. He was doing experiments with Satya and Ahimsa. And it went through the Second World War. And even Gandhi was very, very experienced and other things. Still, war took its toll. And only what we could get was the freedom of India. Not that way for the world. Our small achievement in that time. But had Gandhi would have been as powerful and as effective as he was after independence, or had he did something, what would have been his strategy to to allow world peace and and minimize the conflict between the nations? Perhaps if a little thought over that can be subject matter of today's discussion. So today also we see that national leaders sit between uh, different country heads, they discuss things, they meet, they parlay some cause. But the main thing which is in Indian psyche and which is in with Gandhi was that our efforts have to be non-violent and based on truth. This is something. This is something we have to ponder over, because after each world war, all the world leaders tried to establish something like world government. Today's United Nations organization is part of, is basically the imagined world government which could have power to control and to insist on peace with other countries. Can we imagine what could have been Gandhi's role in today's United Nations? Was it possible that he could chair that president's post and think and spread the system of non-violence, people sitting with each other and discussing? Uh, Imagination fails. You cannot imagine everything in real world. But it is true that UN Charter and UN President, they have certain powers. The the economic wing of United Nations that which gives money to the country and others, that has some power to effectively change the course of action with some countries who are not financially very good, and other countries also which are very good and they need some support, technical support in the world as a good person. They want, because every country has his interest in business and also uh, his development. There are two things. For the development of country, you need finance. Finance. For finance, you need business. For business, you need peace. Without peace, no party can get up and rise above something. Now, this this message of peace, this message of development, always needs that the conflict to be resolved by, not by armed battle, but by mutual discussions and understanding. Again, I say that even for Gandhi, it could have not been possible in that time. But today times are different. Today, mass media has a very special effect, and whatever happens in one part of the world, that spreads everywhere. Imagine 2 days ago, Biden had made a mistake in speaking about his contestant and about vice president, and he described uh, Russian president as president of Ukraine. And while Mr. Zelensky was sitting beside him, standing beside him, and pointed out that president of Ukraine, it is me. Then Biden again mistake. That vice president is Mr. Trump. And now, this small incident, within 2 days, it has reached corners of the world. And it can understand what has happened. So, had Gandhi been today, had he, could he access the mass media like this, his words, his words could change the mind of crores of people as he spoke truth with nothing related to violence. And that change of attitude of millions of people has some effect among howsoever violent a country or powerful a country may be. Because everybody fears that the mass opinion will throw him out immediately. So I think that though Gandhi in First World War and Second World War, internationally his influence was not that much, but today within from within UN or even from outside UN as a mass leader, he could have been very powerful, and he could have the public influence just to change the opinion about anybody with his principles of truth and non-violence. Now, what has happened actually? What has happened actually is that we got the independence in 1947, but we all understand that economic independence cannot come immediately. So in 1947, we did not have economic independence, and financially our condition was not good. We all understand that a war with China in 1962 crippled us to such a level that we imported wheat from US of that quality which was there for the cattle, and we survived on that. Now, from that situation of economic dependence, we have risen today to such a situation that we are able to export wheat to so many countries, and so happy to help Afghanistan people, Pakistan people, even those who are not very friendly, we also help them because we are powerful. We are self-sufficient. Now, this self-sufficiency with non-violence puts our position to such a height that nearby the country China, we all know that it is inimical. We all know that it has eyes on our border. But imagine what a treaty we have got with them. Our treaty is that we will not fire a shot on that time. We will not fire so cannons or machine guns or rifles on the other side. And so whenever conflict comes, they wrestle, the people wrestle. This is the, you can say, greatest victory of our country, which has till today followed the principle of Gandhi, synonymous with the principles of our country's root. Similarly, Afghanistan. With Afghanistan also, we have sent human resource, food, we have sent them medicine, everything we have sent. Even knowing that the India supporting government has been toppled at that place. What was the result? The result was that we could save most of the Indians, we could bring them back safely to our country. Even in Ukraine, there is conflict, but we are trying to settle the conflict, and we are in touch with both the countries. Still, we are praising there should be non-violence. There it can be solved only by discussion. And our students in both the countries have come back safely to India. So this is what happens when the principles Gandhi laid down has been followed by leaders of our country through the generation. That we will not attack anybody, we will be non-violent, we will speak truth, we will not trouble anybody else, and solve problems by discussion. So it is, we can discuss so many things about that, but I have opinion today that whatever is our government, whosoever is leading that we have followed that principle to such an extent that year to year we have been able to keep our people safe and influence others to not to quarrel too much and how to send that supplies and our goodwill to all the countries, even those who are inimical. A physical example, what I always quote is that military, whenever it is sent to some place, they establish their morcha. Morcha means that secure their place where they are staying and make it such a way that they can fire to other side, but while others fire, they can save themselves behind a wall. Now, everybody knows that wall should be strong enough. A strong wall means cement, steel, other things. But they never do that. What they do is sand bags, just sand bags. They pile up one over other and they say that is the best defense. Why sandbag? Because when the bullet strikes a strong wall, it reflects, it splits, even the wall is split and its splinters hurt everybody. But with sandbag, the bullet just enters the sandbag and it stops. And with heavy firing, bag can be torn up, but even with hand grenade explosion, every part of the grenade goes to the sandbag inside and people are safe. So the property of sandbag is that it doesn't react. It is sitting there. You hit it as fast, as strongly as possible, but it will not refuse, refresh you back. It will not hit you back. It will just and everything is inside. So that is the idea Gandhi was there said that in Andolan, in non-cooperation movement, he said that let them fire, let them put lathi. You don't retaliate. How many people they can keep on killing? Because they are killing to spread fear. When they see that fear is not spread and dead people cannot be ruled, the same thing with sandbag theory is applied. Now, can we teach countries to behave like that? We can ourselves behave like that. That you keep on hitting, we will not do anything other thing. But that in international politics has not said much. We know Tibet has gone, what has happened to other places. So some resistance is there, but still, in long term, we can use it to solve the problem. The sandbag policy. The wall of sandbag cannot be destroyed completely. After the one attack, they all collect, fill it in new sandbags, and everything is just like that. While in cement war, one hand grenade broke all the bunkers, destroys all the bunkers. And you cannot reconstruct in such a short period. So this is duty of and conflict management, which was in Gandhi's mind, that our retaliation should not be stronger than the actual attack, but after discussion, we should be able to resolve our issues. A lot, this is based on imagination, on an analysis of what he said, and a lot can be said that what would have been situation today, what would have been principles, because the principles also sometimes change. We know then in First World War, he had said that everybody should support British so that they are pleased and give us independence as a booty. But after First World War, nothing like that happened. So in Second World War, he said no, we will say non-cooperation. So things change. We cannot completely say that things are changed, but the basic lines, guidelines remain same. And as it is an imagination, we still have to think that a place in United Nations, whether it could have been better, or a place in people's movement could have been better, like there is कौन दूसरे गांधी, one Gandhi, Martin Luther. Even Martin Luther required security. Gandhi also, in case of Gandhi also, security failure was there. So general principles are not possible. But whatever I said, that was based on my understanding of what he taught and of what he could have done in today's situation. We feel that India is still following the same principles, standing between the nations, standing like a fair judge of their actions, and it has a power also to say that what is the right thing to do. With these few words, I think uh, if there is any mistake, I will be asking for apology. And if there is any doubt, uh, anybody can put question to Mr. Narayan. We will try to find out what can be the best solution in those cases. Thank you everybody.
You have very well summarized the Gandhian principle of peace, uh, which is required. We talked about the peace which Gandhi experimented in First World War and also during Second World War. So it is rightly said these days, and that the Gandhian model of conflict management and going for peace is the only alternative, the only solution for what we see today the world is facing. Because when Russia is attacking Ukraine, a small country, and Ukraine is also trying to save their people to some extent. And our Prime Minister last week visited Russia, and we had a talk with them, and the Russian president also requested the, to show the path of Gandhian way of conflict management and peace. And the world is expecting that the role of India will be very eminent in solving the global problem global conflict. And it's very true that what Gandhiji uh, did for the first time in Champaran movement, not for the first time because before that he had in South Africa also when he was thrown out of the body of the train, then he also adopted peace movements. So that model needs to be followed globally. Only then there will be a global peace, a world peace. And today, Gandhi's words, Gandhi's feelings are very much applicable and very much practical. That with the China or Russia or USA or Ukraine, where there is conflict, they also feel that if they deviate from the Gandhian principle of peace, then the whole world have to face the consequences. And as we know that in UK also till few days back the Prime Minister was from India, and we hope that in coming election the present Vice President of USA may become the President of USA also. So in different countries we have all such sort of projection of India that people, the world is looking at us that how we uh, I have an occasion, an opportunity to organize international conference on granting world peace. Three prize. One was in USA, the other was in Canada, third was in Zagreb. All the three places at the international conference on peace, world peace. So there, everybody also they are also as you are saying right now, they also agreed. They were taking the same view. Uh, all the three, and I have also produced three books. I have written three books on world peace, and each we find that there are role of plants, trees, human beings, natural artifacts, and culture, the ancient Indian culture, civilization, all that goes for peace. We from the very beginning of Indian religion, we, have talk, we talk about peaceful life and our God and goddesses. They have also shown it's very important. Peace is the most important. Unless you don't have peace, you will not get moksha. That's what Buddha also said, Mahavira also said, all that. Even today, whosoever is becoming popular in giving relations to people in different countries, they also go for that. So that is very important thing that you have to, and the world is looking at us, that what kind of suggestion that we will be giving. So the thing is that we have also one tribe called Kana where Gandhiji lived for 24 hours only, and the whole tribe who were originally around now they are Kana and they lead the life of the Gandhi. I call them living Gandhians. So we have some folk songs from that Kana uh, tribal group, whom I will request our technical team to show that so that world can know that how the tribals who uh, got inspiration from Gandhiji and they are even today they are living the Gandhi life, following the same way of life, and they are trying to spread the Gandhian philosophy and Gandhian rules of peace throughout the globe. So the technical team of Society for Empowerment Now press it to play. Thank you to technical team for showing this. This was a song in which the Anamagat folk singers, tribal singers, they are praising Gandhiji's approach for peace. And the whole song was based on that. So we played it today in this program, believing that those whoever is watching, they will agree with these tribals, with the Anavagas, the living Ghanaians, that without peace there will be no development, without peace there is no life, which Gandhiji taught by his action, by his speaking, and the world always remembers Gandhiji and they are global follower for Gandhian principle of attaining world peace by minimizing the conflict, and the conflict resolution is a must for peace in the society, for peace in the world. So with these words, I like to stop here and will request to the viewers that if they have any question or any clarification, they are free to ask the viewers. Yes, it's a good question that how Gandhian principle will give the mental peace. You see, there is a study that we have done, the Society for Empowerment has conducted that study on mental peace and mental health. The mental health in India is increasing day by day, the cases of mental health increasing. And we had in almost each state of India, we have one mental hospital. And the psychiatrists are also available there. But psychiatrists are generally located in urban center and in tribal center. the tribal region and most of the rural region, people they themselves console and the senior people, the elderly people, they give lessons to the younger generation that we should remain peaceful and how to do that. For that, there is a youth dormitory called the Youth Dormitory among the tribes of India, where they are trained by the senior of tribal society, both for male and female. Similarly, we have in traditional family system, we had grandfather, grandparents, grandmother who used to talk to children, who used to teach the children, younger generation, that it is very essential, very to have peace throughout your life. If you don't have any peace, then there is no life. You will never feel. And that is the orientation of the Indian social, Indian population, right from thousand years back, that we have laid emphasis for mental peace. And that is what impact did Mahatma Gandhi have on future leaders. So I will request Dr. Eka Pandey to answer this question if it feels like that. Your voice is not coming.
Sorry. Now the mic is on. I think uh, I am. You can hear me. Hello.
Hmm.
Sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. The question impact on future leaders. Future leaders means those leaders which were after Gandhi or even after those first series of leaders. Because at the time of Gandhi, most of the Congress leaders were with him and they got training and followed the principles. If you remember exactly, the greatest disciple, most influential of them was Jawaharlal Nehru. And he started the world politics with his Panchsheel Siddhant, which was basically what Gandhi taught. Panchsheel between countries was the codification of the principles which Gandhi advocated at that time. All the cabinet members had been working with Gandhi most of the time. And it is another thing that in the actual test, the principle didn't work. The two countries which first signed that treaty, Panchsheel Principle, and promulgated that, they had started fighting in 1952, I mean China and India. So it could not go very far off, but the principle remains same. It, it is there that the way Gandhi started applying the principle, others could not. Gandhi, when he said something, he implemented first on himself. When he said that we should be foreign class, he left foreign class. So everybody burned foreign class, attacking the business of Manchester Mills. A small example is coming in my mind, if you are permitted to say, that one person was very much worried about his son because he ate too much of good. Good means sugar, you can say, every day. So he took it with some Mahatma and said, Mahatma ji, do something. He always takes this and eats every day. Mahatma said, please come after 3 days. I will give him, teach him. He will leave that. After 3 days he came and he said to the boy, please leave this, it is good every time and then. It limits them. Boy said yes and he left. So 3 days later the father again came to Mahatma. Mahatma ji, you could have said that to the son on the very first day. Why you said that in 3 days time you come back? Repeat. Mahatma said that because I was also very fond of sweets at that time. So first I personally left those sweets and then said him. So that is why it has got a strength. Now Nehru and others were practically worldly people. Gandhi was not that much worldly. So what he said, people follow exactly. But what others said, people test it. That whether it is true or false or whatever. But still, as a group, Indian policy has been influenced by those principles. And even on today, I must say that our present cabinet or prime minister, being from the same state and being in the same way, has been very close to the truth and the principles Gandhi followed and preached. So that is my understanding, and thank you for saving. India, with its culture and wisdom of well-being, non-violence, harmonious coexistence, can play a crucial role in conflict resolution. Definitely, it is in our culture, it is in our heart. What Gandhi said is actually in every Indian's heart. Both we, he Jain, we Sanatani, the principles we have there. We may not be following it very religiously and with all the commitment, but we know that these principles are correct. And unless these are implemented, we will not be rising, we will not be developing, we will not be progressing in our life. So I think the conflict resolution, whatever he says, with slight change to time and other things, because some time has changed, so the basic principles remain same. What can we learn from Mahatma Gandhi's life and the path he walked, and how can we apply those lessons to make sure our own lives more meaningful in today's world? Well, Gandhi was definitely a great person, and he took the principles to the last breath of his life. Imagine the person who is called father of nation and going from Prasana Sabha to Prasana Sabha just like that, without any show, without any security, without anything, because he believed that truth doesn't need such so much protection, one should be fearless. Now, definitely we can follow, and जितना ही अच्छी तरह उसे फॉलो करेंगे उतना ही हमारे अचीवमेंट बढ़ेंगे, हमारी हाइट ऑफ थिंकिंग की हाइट बढ़ेगी. बट यस, वी आर वर्ल्डली पीपल एंड टू रीच टू हिज हाइट, I personally feel it is so difficult for us. So we have to swim in the water we have created around us, and definitely we will reach somewhere near to him where you are. It is a matter of swimming. The question is how Satyagraha will help in improving the mental health. Satyagraha what I understand is without anger, you insist on truth. Just say that it is true. I will not budge again because it is truth. And if you continue with that, first vested interest will try to trust you. But if you continue and time will tell everybody that this is the only way which one can survive such progress. Some people can say we are on such, so we will kill everybody. There are groups in the world who say, no, this is truth. What I say, I will kill everybody with the info. No, that is not the Indian way. That is just contrary to what he says. You follow such, you follow Hinsa. Others try to press that. Don't budge. Ultimately, truth will be victorious. That is what can be done along
And
today.
other small part of the question is mental health. There are, as I said in the very beginning of this program, that Society for Empowerment has done two studies on mental health of the people. So that if you follow truth, if you go for satyagraha, if you are asking for truth, if you are committed for truth, then you will have very little complex and little points to disturb you in your mind. So when your mind is peaceful, your heart is peaceful, then the cases of mental illness will be very few. Because when we got independence, at that time the mental health and the mental illness was very few, and there was no mental hospital in India. But gradually, post-independence, we found that now we have each state has a mental hospital, and we have a National Human Rights Commission, which has a special cell for mental health and people. So that is that with the development, when we are not matching our behavior, our day-to-day life, and source of earning is polluted, then the question of mental illness comes from where it starts. So that is there. Before that, the psychiatrists are also a very recent phenomenon. So 3 or 4 decades phenomenon. Otherwise, they were and even in our ancient system of treatment, we do not have any such input for mental health. For that, we say that we do mental exercise, we do some yogas, we do some dhyana, and you will be mentally okay. Now, the other question is thanks to you for the objections and random aspects. Okay, okay, thank you very much. So, we are thankful to Dr. A.K. Pandey and to the viewers also that they raised questions. It means they were listening us very attentively. So thank you very much, and hope that whenever we have this kind of webinar, please take part, participate in our webinar. If you want some 5 or 10 people, if you request for one webinar, a typical person or on any issue or with any problem, that Society for Empowerment will definitely try to have, have your interaction with some experts of your problem. So thank you very much, and let us give us your good wishes and support and interaction our programs. Once again, thank you very much to Dr. A.K. Pandey, to our technical team, and all viewers of television and other places who viewed us. Thank you. Namaste.